seeing images of families, children are crying. It's just sort of shocking in this country, never having seen that type of thing.
No, I think that our law enforcement officers are doing everything appropriately and correct.
Kristi Noem says ICE agents are doing everything appropriately and correct. She says that as we learn that a record number of children are being held in detention centers. Going to try to not get too angry about this reality, but it's important that we know what's going on. Since the start of this year, some 600 immigrant children have been placed in government shelters by ICE, according to government data. That figure, which has not been previously reported, is already higher than the tally for the previous 4 years combined. And it is the highest number since record keeping began a decade ago. The average length of stay has grown to nearly 6 months, up from 1 month under Biden. This alarming spike isn't due to an influx of new arrivals, nor are there arrests for crimes in most cases. In a majority of the cases ProPublica examined, kids ended up in shelters in ways government officials say they never would have in the past. After routine immigration court hearings or appointments, or because they were at a home or a business when immigration authorities showed up to arrest someone else. In around 150 cases, children were taken into federal custody after traffic stops. The trend is especially noticeable in states like Florida, where thousands of state and local police, including Highway Patrol, have been deputized to enforce immigration laws. We don't know everything we would like to as of yet about the conditions they're facing, but it seems like they're being threatened with long-lasting detention if they don't agree to be deported. We learned this from a government document obtained during a court case. About that document, it warns them that if they do not choose to leave the country within 72 hours, they will be detained in the custody of the United States government for a prolonged period of time. The document also warned that if the person who sought to sponsor the minors was undocumented, they would be subject to arrest and removal or to criminal penalties for aiding your illegal entry. As people continue to turn away from Trump's immigration policies, stories like this one will be core to continuing that movement away from the barbarity we've seen in 2025. Brett, what do you think?
The central premise that I have to reiterate to a lot of my friends and people I talk to when they're talking about immigration is like the solution can't be illegal. This is America. You have rights. The solution can't be illegal, because these same people will be like, you can't, like if you got pulled over and someone searched your car for drugs and there was no indication that there was drugs in the car, you'd be like, that is weird that you're doing this. That's violating my rights. You have no reason to search the car. You just made one up. That's something they can wrap their mind around. As soon as they're like, oh, and it should go off in your mind, this is really fishy, when it's like, oh, we conducted a routine traffic stop. That is a tale as old as time. I also have to explain to people like the reason that there are sanctuary cities, the reason that it hurts your safety in a city if you report everybody to ICE because you don't get anyone in the area to comply with law enforcement. And that's why they separate it. Here, I understand that like, if you break the law, there should be consequences. If you're here illegally, there is already a process that Obama used to get rid of tons of people from the nation. You hate him, but at least it was more legal than what Trump is doing right now. And yeah, this is the stuff that as soon as it creeps into like we're throwing entire families out of the country because someone had a taillight out at a time when the Supreme Court has said stuff like it's totally fine to just profile people for the color of their skin. That's a problem, and it should scare the hell out of these same people who are scared of government overreach and the loss of their own rights when it comes to like, can I have a little bit of weed in the car?
Yeah. I mean, you're putting again children in jail for something that they didn't do. Many of these kids some of them are born here. I mean, if they're brought here As children, there are some protections for that, like the Dreamers, the delayed action for childhood arrivals. I mean, these are things that we should have fixed and addressed to reckon with the realities of our immigration. But no, what are we doing? We're just going to put kids in jail and threaten them, deprive them of any sort of due process. We know in these family detention centers, this has been a problem, especially under the Obama administration, but has persisted until now. They're deprived of access to lawyers, legal representation, a basic explanation of their rights. Some days lawyers have tried to go in places like Karnes County, Texas, and it's just, no, lawyers aren't allowed in today. Why? Because we decided not to. That's how it works. It's absolutely heinous that we're doing this. And I think as we go into the holiday season, many of us are fortunate to spend time with our loved ones and our families. Think about the ones who can't. Think about the people who just had their lives upended this year, this week, today. And now their kids are sitting in a cell and they're at risk of deportation. Will they ever see their kids again? That's what's happening. It's disgusting.